Hello guys and welcome to a new episode of the Football plus F1 show. Today we're going to talk about Thursday's and yesterday's games from the Europa League Conference League semi-finals, and also we're going to talk about the Premier League game between Leeds United and Burnley, and also we're going to talk about Miami Spring qualifying for Formula 1. Let's start on Thursday with Europa League semi-finals and also Conference League. Europa League semi-finals, Braga beat Freiburg 2-1. Braga took the lead in the 8th minute from Tignas. Grifo, who's arguably one of Freiburg's best players in recent years, equalized in the 16th minute, 1-1. Braga had the chance to score before half-time, but they didn't do that. I think they missed the penalty, and then in the second half, Braga scored the last-minute goal from Mario Dorgeles to give Braga an advantage ahead of the second leg at Freiburg, as Braga on one step closer to the Europa League final. Very good win for Sporting Braga, considering they are fourth and they are way off the pace of the title for Porto, Benfica and Sporting. For them to have a good chance of getting Europa League final is a great achievement for them. On Freiburg, they're on the back foot, but they have the home leg to come, second leg next week, so they have a chance to come back, so it's not over yet. Nottingham Forest against Aston Villa. Nottingham Forest win 1-0 thanks to the winning goal from Chris Wood on the penalty spot against Aston Villa. Nottingham Forest have an advantage ahead of the second leg at Villa Park next week, as they are one step closer to the Europa League final. I believe their first European Cup final will be their first European Cup final since the Brian Clough days, when obviously they won European Cups under him. So yeah, but Nottingham Forest, the fact that actually we're talking about Nottingham Forest being in the Europa League final, could be in the Europa League final, considering they've had 4 managers this season. They've most leagues this season been in a relegation fight, and for them to be, where they are, it's one step closer to the Europa League final. It's a great achievement, considering all the problems they've had with the amount of sacking of managers, change of managers, also being in the relegation battle. For them to be in this position, and they've not had an easy season as well. Last season was a great season for them, getting European football, but this season's not been an easy season for them. For them to be one step closer to the European finals, they have to give them a lot of credit. And they've been in very, very good form actually. Ever since Vitor Pereira came in, he's made a very good impact since joining the club. I mean, I remember the first game against Liverpool where they absolutely destroyed them, and I don't know how Nottingham Forest lost that game. Or actually, I know, because they didn't score. Whereas they were scored, and that was the first game under Vitor Pereira, and then after that, or the first game in the Premier League, because before that they played Europa League, and then you look at the games like Manchester City, where I thought they played really well in that game and they deserved to get a draw. They destroyed Tottenham away from home 3-0. They scored 9 goals in the last 3 games in the Premier League, winning 4-1 against Burnley, 5-0 against Sunderland. They've been in an amazing, very, very good run of form, and they are unbeaten in all competitions since that game against Man City. They've been unbeaten in all competitions, in the Premier League and Europa League, the games they've played. They've had draws and wins. They beat Porto in the Europa League, who are obviously a well-established, well-experienced club in Europe. So, yeah, I mean, you have to give a lot of credit to Vitor Pereira, because he's done a very, very good job. And he has this kind of history where turning teams around in the mid-season. He did it Wolves the last season, where Wolves in a difficult position, and then Wolves went on in a fantastic run of form, and they stayed up comfortably at the end. And Vitor Pereira, it looks like he's going to do the same thing in the relegation battle with Nottingham Forest, and also taking them to their first European Cup final since the 80s. So, I mean, it will be a great achievement for Nottingham Forest. It will be an incredible achievement, considering it's not been a good season for them. For them to be one step closer to the Europa League final would be a great achievement. However, it's not done yet, because they're ahead, but obviously there's Villa Park to come next week, and I think they deserve to. I think it was kind of a 50-50 game. This game, I mean, you look at Aston Villa and how Nottingham Forest played. I mean, they both had chances. Martinez had to make some very good saves. So as Matt Sells as well, particularly Martinez. He had to make a great save. I think it was from Igor Jesus or Elliot Anderson, and he made an unbelievable save, Emiliano Martinez. Um, and yeah, not only he made great saves, also Matt Sells made some very good saves as well. Ortega made some very good saves. um, so yeah, like Nottingham Forest, I think this game could have gone either way. It could have gone either way. I think Nottingham Forest could have won by more. Aston Villa could have got a draw or won. I think it could have gone either way. However, some more details, some fine margins were decided. Sorry, something strange happened. But like I said, both goalkeepers did really, really well. And Lucas Dean, I mean, what was he thinking with the handball? What was he thinking? I have absolutely no idea. Like, why do you put your hands like that? Like, absolutely stupid from him. And that stupid mistake could cost Aston Villa a place in the Europa League final. And like listen, mostly Lucas Digne has been quite good for Aston Villa's season, but like, what was he doing? What was he thinking? I've absolutely no idea. Like, I really don't understand it. And then Chris Wood scores from the penalty spot, gives Nottingham Forest the lead and advantage ahead of the second leg. And Chris Wood, I mean, big goal for him. I mean, considering he's not been, it's not been an easy season for him. With last season he was fantastic. Obviously, he was one of the best players in the Premier League alongside Mohamed Salah. But he scored from the penalty spot. This season has been a difficult season for him because of injuries and so on. But in the last 3 games he's getting back to his best, surely. Scoring the winning goal against Aston Villa and scored against Sunderland as well. He's getting back to his best as well. So yeah, and you look at the players of Nottingham Forest. I mean, they're in a very good form right now. Nottingham Forest as a team, and also you've got players like Anderson. He's in very good form. Ego Cruz is a good player. Gibbs White has been very good form. Gushbury getting back to his best. Nottingham Forest are kind of peaking at the right time, because they need to stay away from the relegation and also potentially win the Europa League as well. And why can't they win the Europa League even though they're fighting for relegation? I mean, Tottenham finished 17th last season and they won the Europa League. I know they didn't fight for relegation because they were comfortably safe, but like, still they won the Europa League when they were absolutely garbage last season. So yeah, but good win for Nottingham Forest. But it's half time, and still a long way to go to come in Villa Park. I mean, Unai Emery, I feel like Aston Villa, like I heard from Villa fans say that they didn't try to win this game or whatever. I disagree. I mean, they had chances. However, you could tell that after they conceded the goal from Chris Wood, they were like, and even Emery said it after the game, that his team was trying to not like concede another goal to have a chance at Villa Park, and rightly so, because yes, if you want to qualify, you need to stay in the tie, especially in the first leg away from home. Because if you lose 2-0, 3-0, then it's going to be very difficult in the second leg, mostly. So yeah, I think Aston Villa did quite well at the end to. Yeah, obviously it's not great because they lost and they're behind in the first leg, but they did manage quite well in the end to not like lose more by more. So yeah. However, there was a moment in the game where Elliot Anderson made that tackle on Ollie Watkins, and that should have been a red card. I mean, how the referee didn't give it as a red card, I have absolutely no idea. And people say, "Oh, but he got the ball." Yeah, but like, that was a really bad tackle, reckless. I mean, that could have been a season-ending injury from Ollie Watkins. I'm not saying Aston Villa are a one-man team, but like, he's one of their best players, and that's a red card. That could change the game. That could change the game. That could affect Nottingham Forest. That could help Aston Villa for the rest of the game. I think that should have been a red card. I don't know why the referee didn't give it as a red card. And yeah, maybe he was far away though. But like, the people in the VAR, why don't they tell him to go and check at the monitor? I think that should have been a red card in my opinion. I don't know why the referee, the people in the VAR have ignored it. In my opinion, that should have been a red card. So we look ahead to the second leg at Villa Park next week. Nottingham Forest have an advantage, of course, but still a long way to go at Villa Park. For sure, Villa players and Emery and the fans will be up for it in the second leg. They're at home. They're going to be pumped for it, and at home they're usually strong, so they should have a better chance to come back in the second leg. Who do I think is going to go through? I think you have to. I'm going for Nottingham Forest actually, because I know Aston Villa are usually strong at home. Unai Emery's amazing record in Europa League, but I think Aston Villa's form, I would say in the last 2-3 months has been not that great. Whereas Nottingham Forest, their form, their games unbeaten, they're doing really well. They're playing
playing with confidence. They're defensively, they're looking better. Going forward, they're looking very strong, and they are beaten since the beginning of March. I think if you have to go with the team who's in form right now, you would trust more on Nottingham Forest to go through. So that's why I'm going with Nottingham Forest to go through to the final. But obviously, Aston Villa, with the experience they have with Unai Emery, they can do it. That's for sure. Conference League, Rayo Vallecano, they beat Strasbourg 1-0. They go have an advantage going to the France next week away from Strasbourg. Again, Rayo Vallecano have an advantage, but obviously it's not over for the Strasbourg. They can come back in the second leg. Very good win for Rayo Vallecano, considering it's not been a smooth sailing season for them in La Liga as they are mid-table. So, but they get the advantage out of the second leg. As for Strasbourg, I mean, they've been fantastic in the Conference League whole season when they obviously won the league phase. They finished first, but they have a disadvantage going to the second leg. With the new manager Gary O'Neill, who used to manage Wolves and Bournemouth. However, they have a chance to come back next week. Crystal Palace with a very good win in Poland against Shakhtar Donetsk 3-1. Great win for Oliver Glasner's side. They go 1-0 up in the first minute from Ismail Assar. 1-0 up, and then second half, you have to say give credit to Shakhtar Donetsk because they responded quite well very quickly with a 1-1 goal from Okerritko. But then Crystal Palace, that goal didn't affect them afterwards because they went on to score the second and the third from Daichi Kamada and Strand Larsen, who obviously used to play for Wolves. A very, very impressive win for Crystal Palace, considering if you look at all the teams away from home this season in all competitions, Crystal Palace are the only side to win away from home in all the semi-finals this weekend. I mean, Bayern lost, Arsenal drew, Strasbourg lost, Freiburg lost, Aston Villa lost. For them to win away from home, especially in the semi-finals first leg, and to win by 2 goals, with that a good advantage going to the second leg, I think, in my opinion, Crystal Palace have they're almost like guaranteed to go through to the final, in my opinion. I don't want to disrespect Sheffield Donetsk, but I can't see Sheffield Donetsk at Sellers Park next week coming back from that result. So very good result, a very good win for Oliver Glasner's side. It's not been a smooth sailing season for them in the Premier League. They're 13th in the Premier League. However, in this kind of cup competition, not only that, but also they had to let players like obviously Eze, Mark Gay, etc., and also the future doubts of Oliver Glasner, where obviously he made some comments about the club and the fans, which were not great. But at the same time, Crystal Palace could end their season on a high, especially with Oliver Glasner leaving at the end of the season, as they could win another trophy. I mean, Glasner won 2 trophies, the FA Cup and the Community Shield, if you want to include it, but I include it. Community Shield and FA Cup, and they could win a third one in space of 2 years. That would be a great achievement. I mean, for Glasner to win 3 trophies at a club like Crystal Palace, who, let's be honest, they were not known for winning trophies before he came in, especially where they also had to let players like Ulisse, Eze, Mark Gay go. It's a great achievement. It would be a great achievement if Crystal Palace win another trophy. So, yeah, and Crystal Palace, yeah, they have a big chance to go through to the final, to Leipzig, as they will face Strasbourg or Rayo Vallecano. So, very good win for Crystal Palace. Very, very impressive. Let's move on to Friday, the Premier League. Leeds United beat Burnley's Michael Jackson. Scott Parker he left the club because obviously after the relegation, but Mike Jackson, who's the assistant, who replaced Sean Dyche when he got the sack in 2022 and then Burnley got relegated from the Premier League. He takes in charge again. Not Michael Jackson that we all know, the other Michael Jackson. He takes charge of Burnley. But Leeds United, a very, very important win for them, especially as they take a big step towards Premier League survival. The goals from Starch, Okafor and Calvert-Lewin gives them a 3-1 win over relegated Burnley. Very good win for Leeds United, very important win. Obviously they had to bounce back and respond quickly after the debacle of the FA Cup semi-final, where some of the fans were not happy with the performance of the team. Understandably so, because I don't think that Chelsea side is that great. I think Leeds United could have done better to challenge them. But However, they have a big opportunity now to achieve their main objective, which is staying in the Premier League. A big win for them as they go now 9 points clear of Leeds United. Tottenham. Sorry, and Tottenham still have to play obviously this weekend. But Leeds United take a big step towards Premier League survival. So I can't see Leeds United being relegated now, so considering after this win. So yeah. Now let's move on to Formula 1.